Good Monday morning, everybody. I am back to recap the Morgan and Vince show. That's what it feels like. Big Brother 27 has definitely become the Morgan and Vinny show. They have definitely become the feeds this past week. And also, they've become like a broken record. So I feel like I'm starting to become a broken record as well. But they are like the main topic to talk about on the feeds. At the same time, though, I have seen some people on social media talk about how the rest of the cast should be targeting Morgan and Vince just because they are making themselves the entire show. But, like, the rest of the players are not giving right now. It is their own faults that Morgan and Vince are not only controlling the game but also controlling the show, the feeds, whatever you want to say. And then when you have people like Ava involved, I can't even really take the rest of the cast seriously. Ava's still going on and on about Rachel. We're like, what, a week and a half past Rachel's elimination. Ava's still blaming Rachel for the fact that she's not going to win America's favorite player. Ava also acting like that's all she could win at this point when she's still in the game and could still win the game if she would just, you know, play the game. But yeah. So I talked about Morgan's persistence yesterday in my video from yesterday morning and how I knew that all day Sunday Morgan was going to try and convince Vince again to put up Lauren when she uses the veto on Ava. She did at least come with a better pitch yesterday compared to Saturday night. The pitch being what Ashley wanted her to pitch in the first place was to pitch that Lauren going up helps Callie potentially lose the blockbuster because Callie would not only have to go against Keanu but would have to go against Lauren instead of Ava because Lauren is a better competitor than Ava. Morgan helped guarantee she and Ashley would keep Lauren safe if Lauren was to go up and she lost the blockbuster, painting it as this is a way to break Lauren's streak of not going up while also keeping her in the game. Morgan trying to come up with a way to please Vince for having to put up Lauren. And for a lot of the day yesterday, Vince at least said he was going to do it. It did seem like Vince was turning in his mind that maybe it is a good idea for Lauren to finally be nominated just to be nominated. So she basically has no real winning talk at the end of the season if she does make the final two. In typical Vince fashion, though, instead of telling Lauren the plan that she's gonna go up, so that she can compete against Callie, he once again asked if she would be okay going up, which nobody with more brain cells than Callie and Keanu are going to say yes to that. So then, of course, Vince changed his mind. Though, I guess someone also responsible for Vince changing his mind was Ava. And the more time that has gone on, the more and more I have hated Ava's game. There's no other player, as the game has gone along, have I had less and less respect for their game. Because I've been consistent in the way I can't stand how Keanu plays so stupid or how Callie doesn't play at all. But it used to be much easier for me to give props to Ava's social game, at least. But last night, she talked herself into staying on the block. And I can't respect that. Because Morgan using veto meant Morgan using veto on Ava. And Ava was told this. So for her to soft pitch how bad it looks to Vince or about Vince, but she's pitching this to Vince, saying that if Vince puts Lauren on the block, he's going to look really bad. It looks, and it also makes Lauren look stupid for trusting him. So I think that got in Vince's head for him to change his mind again. But what Ava basically did is she essentially saved Lauren over herself this week. And I mean, that sums up the cast. You know, I really thought a cast where they finally seemed to cast some players who seemed to need the money would have made more people play hard for themselves this season, play their own games. But quite the opposite has happened somehow, and I don't really understand it. It's just, I guess, really bad casting. So after this, like all weekend, Vince and Morgan had to stay up until the wee hours of the morning to talk in circles. Vince was using his people pleaser excuse as to why he can't put Lauren up because he promised her he wouldn't when he won HOH. I think Vince's people pleaser excuse has become so old. He tries to use that as a way to make it look like the blood isn't on his hands or the guilt isn't on his fault. And I don't think these people fall for it anymore, but who knows? He keeps using it because he gets away with it in the game. Vince and Morgan, they honestly, from the time I'm recording this, they just went to bed like 2 hours ago. It was like, I would say, 8-ish a.m. on the East Coast. So it was like 5 a.m. their time. It was after that. It was more like 5:20 something a.m. that they finally went to bed. I guess in the end, it still seems to be that Vince doesn't want to use the veto, or he doesn't want Morgan to use the veto because he doesn't want to nominate Lauren or Ashley and have to make that other decision. Though Morgan still seems to have it in the back of her mind that she can use the veto and make Vince show her where he really stands. Does Vince really stand with her, or does Vince really stand with Lauren? Though doing that might just get Ashley put up and eliminated, and all that's really going to do is help Callie. So that would be horrible. I think Morgan did too much this weekend. I really do. It's now Morgan overplaying. Vince always overplays, but now Morgan is too. Because, as I said, I think yesterday, it's Morgan knowing in her gut that Vince is lying and Lauren is his real number one because he wants to go to the end with Lauren because he thinks he can beat her. I think Morgan sees this. So Morgan wants to force Vince to either have to choose her or to show his cards with Lauren. Or what she could do is pivot and work against Vince and Lauren, but on a friendship and emotional level, Morgan doesn't want to do that. At least not yet. I feel like what Morgan is hoping for, or what she needs anyway, is that she needs something big to happen, like to her face. She needs to see it for herself, out in the open. Vince choosing Lauren over her because she just wants to remain too damn loyal to Vince. She could be too damn loyal to the wrong people. My favorite part of this latest Morgan and Vince conversation, even though they talked in circles, was when Vince was asking, why does Ashley get to play selfishly by not wanting to vote out Ava or be on the block? And Morgan's response to Vince was, that's rich coming from you. Vince was shook after that, being called to his face a selfish player because his whole woe is me, I'm a people pleaser act wasn't working with Morgan today. But Vince was trying to still get his way by the end of that conversation. And after talking in circles and all of these shots kind of taken at each other, they still went to bed on friendly terms because I guess they just have that really deep friend connection. I also have to say that Lauren deserves all of the crap she's getting online for not even having a conversation with Morgan once Morgan won the veto. But I guess that's because Lauren has always refused to build game relationships outside of Vince, Callie, Ava, Kat, her wannabe Sundown Town Alliance I always talk about. So yes, Lauren deserves all of the flack for pretty much refusing to even talk to Morgan, Ashley, Keanu this week, or any week for that matter. It's why I still believe Lauren has one of the weakest games in the house and why nobody really respects her game outside of the fact that she's never been put on the block. That is literally the one thing she has going for her, the one thing she can talk about if she does make a final two. And then we have Ashley and Ava. They now have their alleged final two. And they have started to talk about how Morgan is becoming a huge threat to win the game. Morgan stands are upset that Ashley is growing Morgan's target by saying that. And yes, Morgan does stick up for Ashley a lot and has the whole game. But Morgan's whole crusade to possibly use the veto this week, no matter what, is gambling with Ashley's life in the game. And Ashley has every right to call it out. Because if Morgan were to somehow get Vince to put up Lauren today, it would be a move for Morgan. Ashley's not wrong. Ashley's always logical. Ashley always has great reads. And Morgan is doing the most just to get Lauren put up on the block, especially if they're not even going to vote out Lauren, is why I think Morgan kind of overplayed a bit this week, and now she's getting called out for that with others in the game. It's just doing a little too much. But she will get respect if she gets Vince to put up Lauren. She'll probably try again today before the veto ceremony because she just doesn't stop. But the season is winding down. I think later today I really want to do a live. I want to start doing more lives in general, especially with Big Brother ending. I want to get on. I've gotten used to like getting on here every day and ranting about something, so I need to find things to rant about. But today's going to be Big Brother again. So look out for another live here in like 2 or 3 hours. I kind of just want to do a retrospective on the whole cast because I really want to talk shit about this whole cast one last time for the season. That's my cue to go, though. It's going to be hard to do lives living next to a fire station, but what are you going to do? But yeah, also, a lot of new Big Brother fans this season. Thank you for watching me. If you have any other reality shows that are good right now or that are going to be starting, preferably none that are on CBS, that you're going to be watching that I should check out and talk about, let me know in the comments. I'm going to be doing Love Island games, which starts tomorrow night. And outside of that, I don't really know, though. But, so yeah, hit me up in the comments. I am going to try and do another live later, mostly on Big Brother, maybe a couple other topics as well.